Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Dodge Dart Special Edition in multiplayer in Forza Horizon 3. ShadowReaper, who purchased this game for me a while back, found this decal for the Dart in this game, and it looked very similar to all of the Special Edition cars that were in Asphalt 8. So this might be an idea of what you might see in a Special Edition Dart in that game. I've got a pretty special video lined up here for you guys. I believe this is the longest race that I've ever done in a video. There is one race in this video, but it is one of the most intense races I have ever played in a racing game. It was a duel against ShadowReaper, and we just went back and forth throughout the whole thing. You'll have to watch to the end to find out the results, but it was insane all the way through, and I know you guys will enjoy it. In this race, we had collisions off, so it would be a purely skill-based race. Now, obviously, we weren't going to purposely try to bump each other or anything, but this would make it even more skill-based. And this car, as you can see, requires a bit of skill to drive, which I did not have at the beginning of this race, but I did get better at it. And even after a couple of mistakes at the beginning, I began to catch back up, and we had quite the battle. This car, at this tune, is one of the fastest tunes that you can get in the car in Class A. However, it suffers from a lack of good handling. That's one problem that you will see in it throughout the video. There are another couple of tunes or so that will give you decent speed, but better handling. But I'm a speed kind of guy, and I wanted to see how it would fare. ShadowReaper is in a Mazda RX-7, and it was about this point that I catch up to him and pass him. And at this point is where things really start getting interesting. So I found that in a lot of cases, you really have to be careful when you are driving this car, especially around the corners. As you saw, I slid out a couple of times, so I learned that you had to brake a lot more. This is something that you have to do in pretty much any Forza game, so it isn't new. But I also thought that this made it even more like an Asphalt 8 real Special Edition car. Because in Asphalt 8, most of the Special Edition cars, especially like the SLK, have generally been some of the higher speed-oriented ones, and they might not have had as good of handling. So honestly, this is probably about as close to a real Dart SE as you're going to get before it inevitably comes out in Asphalt 8. I'm really surprised actually that they haven't released one yet, because that would just be the perfect car to do. We're driving on the Hot Wheels expansion, as you can probably tell from all the orange roads in the sky. Unfortunately, you cannot get Forza Horizon 3 anymore just normally on the Microsoft Store. It was removed from sale in September of 2020, I'm sure phasing it out so that people will be more likely to go to Forza Horizon 4, and any upcoming Forza Horizon games likely will see a Forza Horizon 5 of some kind, possibly by the end of this year, maybe next year. We don't know for sure yet, but it is likely coming since there has been 2 or 3 years between the past Forza Horizon games. The Hot Wheels expansion is my favorite expansion in any Forza game that I've tried so far. I have 3, this one, as well as the 2 in Forza Horizon 4, so Fortune Island and the Lego one. And as many of you guys know, I am a big fan of Lego. Lego was really like my biggest hobby as a kid, or at least one of them, and I got started on YouTube on a Lego stop motion channel, which I will try to remember to link in the description if anybody hasn't seen that yet. But yeah, I was doing that for a couple of years before I started on this channel. But another one of the things that I enjoyed doing as a kid was playing with, well, Hot Wheels cars. And I've always really had something for cars in general, and although I would not consider myself to be a car enthusiast per se, the fact that racing games are by far my favorite kind of video game should tell you something about that. And this expansion perfectly encapsulates what I've always loved with cars, just crazy ramps and jumps and going all over the place. That is one reason why I always really liked Sector 8 and other of the more technical tracks in the Asphalt games, because just going crazy and doing stunts and stuff I've always really enjoyed. And so, as you might imagine, I enjoy the Fast and Furious movies. I know, they're a bit crazy and they're not all that realistic, but sometimes you just want a good old-fashioned car action scene, and that's what those do really good at. And I'm really looking forward to the new one that's coming out that unfortunately got delayed, but then again, what movie hasn't in the past year? But I'm kind of getting off topic. All that is to say, I really enjoy this Hot Wheels expansion, and I'm looking forward to maybe making more videos on it as well. There's a couple of other cars in Forza Horizon 3 that I do want to test. that are in Asphalt 8 or Asphalt 9. Shadow has picked out a couple of them, and I really think they will make great videos. I really don't see all that much of a big difference between Forza Horizon 3 and Forza Horizon 4 in terms of the overall graphics and performance and driving. They are very similar to each other, so if you're good in one, you're most likely going to be good in the other because they drive exactly the same way pretty much. Now yes, I do know I'm not the greatest in either game. I never pretended to be because they've never been the games that I've spent the most time on. Asphalt games have always been those, but I still really enjoy driving in them. And I really like the feel of sort of an arcade simulation kind of racing game. Those are fun too. In general, I don't like sim games as much as arcade ones. They've just never been my style. Real Racing 3, for example. I used to play it, but it was just never something that really got me hooked, although people have asked me to play it on multiple occasions. It's not really the kind of game that I'm really planning to bring to my channel anytime soon. Now, speaking of simulation arcade racers, there is this new game that's going to be coming out sometime soon called Racing Master that many people have told me about that I do plan to try out. I know it's going to be coming out on iOS and Android. I've heard that it might get a Windows release too. If it does, I will definitely be making a video about it because it looks pretty fun. If it only comes out for iOS or Android, if it is popular enough, I might give it a try on there as well. Haven't done much recording on my mobile device, as you guys know, but I would definitely not mind giving it a try. Unfortunately here, I clip the tiniest little space in the wall and lose a lot of speed. This reminds me around that one turn in Himalayas where you're going against a mountain and then there's one of those barriers that sticks out from them, one of the white and red ones, where if you hit it at just the right angle, you will wreck even though you are just normally wall riding. That's happened to me on multiple occasions. That's exactly what that reminds me of right there. But I was not going to lose hope as I was catching up again, and Shadow told me that his RX-7, while it has around 690 horsepower, doesn't have the greatest handling, so that seems very similar to the car I was driving now. So this was a pretty well-matched race, I would say. By the way, let me know down in the comments if any of you guys have this game and would be interested in doing bigger multiplayer lobbies for videos in it. I know that not everybody who has this game would have the Hot Wheels expansion, so I do those lobbies on the regular track. Here I go flying past Shadow, do a little bit of a wall ride, which actually does good for me in this instance, and I'm able to pull ahead as we're coming up pretty close to the end of the race here. Then he passes me again, and we are pretty much neck and neck as we go through this ring of fire. It's crazy that after 7 minutes, neither of us has gotten substantially ahead, and we're still pretty much right next to each other on the track. I pull ahead after that big turn, but unfortunately his acceleration is just a little bit better than mine, and he's able to pull ahead at the last second and just barely take the victory, although I do take the inner route, so I do get pretty close. Very fun race, one of the closest I have had in Forza, and for being so long, that's pretty crazy. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. Again, big thanks to ShadowReaper for this game as well. I know this is a bit different than my usual content, but if you have enjoyed, I hope you'll leave a like and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!